Hi, I'm Andy and I know containers. Born and raised in Germany, now here in Australia to help you make better container decisions. Most people choose between a shed house or a container home based on aesthetics. That's how you burn money. Structure decides cost and not Instagram. In the US, it's often called barn house or barndominium. In Australia, we usually say shed house. Structurally, though, we're talking about the same idea. It's not a lifestyle comparison. It's about structure, cost reality, and long-term suitability. Most people compare aesthetics first. That's the wrong starting point. Structure comes first, everything else follows. Both systems can work, but both systems can also become very expensive mistakes if you don't understand the structure behind them. A barn house, sometimes called a barndo, is essentially a steel or timber frame structure with large open spans. The idea originally comes from agricultural buildings. Large shell, open interiors, steel structure, simple outer envelope. Today it's adapted into residential use. The biggest advantage is layout flexibility. You're not limited by fixed modular dimensions. You can design wide open spaces. You can move walls more freely. You're working with a classic structural frame system, but don't romanticize it. It's a full new building, including foundation, engineering, framing, and insulation. Nothing about it is simple once you look at the real cost structure. Because everything is built from scratch. If you're planning a container project and want the right dimensions and technical drawings, you'll find everything on shipping-containers.com.au. A container home is fundamentally different. You're not building from structural shell from zero. You're modifying an existing steel module that was designed for stacking and transport. That means the structural frame already exists. The load paths are defined. The corner posts carry weight. The dimensions are fixed. You work within a system. That's either a massive advantage, not a serious limitation. Because you're working inside a predefined structural system. You're not starting from zero. And you don't get unlimited freedom. It's modular, it's predictable, but it has boundaries. Now this is where things get serious. A barn house carries loads through a designed frame system. You can plan openings where you want as long as engineering supports it. With a container, the structural system is predefined. If you cut large openings, remove walls or combine units, you are modifying a structural system that was originally designed to carry loads through its corner posts and top rails. That's completely possible, but it has to be engineered properly. A container is extremely strong when used as designed. When heavily modified, reinforcement becomes critical. Cutting steel is easy, rebuilding structural integrity is not. And that's where many container projects quietly explode in cost. And that's usually the moment where cheap container build stops being cheap. Both systems share one important challenge. Steel is not insulation. A barn house or a shed house with a steel frame requires proper thermal planning. A container being entirely steel absolutely requires it. The difference lies in the surface to volume ratio. Containers have relatively high exterior surface area compared to internal space. That means they react quickly to temperature changes. In hot climates or cold climates, poor insulation leads to condensation, and condensation leads to long-term issues like corrosion or internal moisture damage. Neither concept is automatically engineering efficient. Steel reacts fast to temperature. If you ignore it, you pay for it later in condensation, as I said, corrosion or retrofit work. Online you often see simplified comparisons. Barn houses are cheaper per square foot or square meter. Container homes are cheaper because shell already exists. Most online cost comparisons are marketing math. Cost per square foot or square meter without structural context is meaningless. A container home can be cost effective if you keep the design simple. You avoid excessive structural modifications. You work within the modular constraints. Once you start combining multiple units, cutting large openings or adding high-end finishes, costs rise quickly. Shed house can be efficient at shell stage, but foundation, interior, building out, engineering, services will still define final cost. In both cases, Complexity drives prices, not the concept alone. If someone tells you container homes are easier to approve, be careful. Once it's residential, you're in the same regulatory world. That means structural compliance, insulation requirements, fire regulations, and local zoning. A shed house goes through the same. Lever system is a shortcut around building law. A properly built barn house can last decades. A properly converted container can also last decades. The real variable is the execution. How was moisture handled? How was the insulation handled? Was the foundation correct? Was the corrosion protection considered? Were structural changes engineered? The system doesn't fail, but bad execution does. A shed house makes sense if you want large open spans. You need maximum layout freedom to plan bigger footprint. A container home makes sense if you prefer modular thinking. If you want a compact defined structure, you're comfortable designing within fixed dimensions. Or you want to combine units in a structured way. It's not about the trends, it's about the structural logic. If you choose based on trend, you'll likely regret it. Choose based on structure, not aesthetics. Stop asking which one is cooler and ask which one fits your structural logic and budget discipline. If you want maximum layout freedom, go for the shed house. If you want modular predictability, go for a container. If you're choosing based on a trend alone, rethink it. Both can be an excellent solution, and both can become expensive mistakes if planned poorly. The right choice depends on your layout goals, your engineering approach, your climate, your budget, and your long-term plan. Don't choose based on aesthetics alone, as I said. Choose based on structure and use case. If you find comparisons like this helpful, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. For structured container information, sizing guides, and technical downloads, visit shipping-containers.com.au. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.